Freaking button didn't go live. I pushed it and it didn't go live. So now we're live. I thought we were live this whole time. I pushed the stupid button and it didn't go. Sorry about that, guys. I pushed the damn go live button because you saw the counter, right? I pushed the go live button before I hit the counter. I guess it didn't click or something. I don't know. Anyway, not the first time I've done that stupidity. What's up, Viking? What's up, RCNC3D? I keep going backwards. And Mike and Knack and Carl, come hang out. I think I posted the join link, didn't I? Somebody come hang out with me. Before I go nuts and start swearing and throwing this thing across the room. You guys have missed the last 10 minutes of me winding this thing. See, I've got a bunch of it wound already. I've been fighting it and it was all knotted. What's up, man? I think I've got it mostly untangled now. Oh, I feel a big drag. Something's still tangled. There is a buttload of filament here. Big old knot. Yes, it's TPU. Okay, I'll do this again since it didn't record what I was saying before. Shane bought this. I don't know what it even is. I got to re-talk to him. He told me. I want to say it's Ninja Flex, but I don't think it is. Anyway, he's been trying to print with it. He's done all kinds of stuff. Thrown it in the dryer and blah, blah, blah. Can't get it to print right. So we were BSing on a Discord stream one night. And I said, send me a little bit. See if it's you or if it's, because he bought my old Himeras. It was like, is it the Himera? Is it the filament? Is it something in your slicing settings? I'm like, send me some, and I'll check it out. He's like, well, I'll take one of my old spools and wind it up. I'm like, nah. Just why spend all the money in shipping and everything for a spool? I said, just unwind a handful and throw it in a padded envelope. Save a bunch of money in shipping. Yeah. Dumbass me. Suggesting to make my life miserable. Shane's like, yeah, that's a good idea. And of course, he didn't just unwind a little bit because he's Shane and he's a wicked nice guy. And he's like, I'll freaking spool off a freaking half the roll. Actually, I think he weighed it. I think he said it's about 250 grams. So it's about a quarter of a roll. But still, it's, a lot of filament, especially with TPU. Actually, TPU is kind of light, isn't it? Isn't it lighter than PLEs and PETGs and ABSs? I don't know. I'm just guessing. Actually, it might not be. It might be heavier. What's up, Jeff? Yeah, it's all right. You know what? Been outside most of the morning. Been hanging out. Watch some stuff. Watch the rocket blow up. Did y'all see the rocket blow up? Not that you could see it. Because it was all foggy. But the rocket blew up. Which, sucks, but it's all right. I'm actually getting further with this than I thought I was going to before getting pissed off and throwing it across the room. No, it definitely blew up. If you watch, I had like 3 streams going. Watching it, I always do because they always show different angles. Um, I never used to like doing I always watch SpaceX. SpaceX is the official site. You got to watch SpaceX. Well, they're kind of restrictive. One, they don't let you know until like 5 minutes before they're gonna blast off, so you never get a notification. But I was actually watching Jessica's stream there, and I had NASA spaceflight. They're actually got pretty good coverage, and SpaceX's own site going, and SpaceX's cameras kicked out, but NASA spaceflight, when they couldn't, use SpaceX's video anymore, went to their own cameras. They got their own cameras, around the site, and they flashed back to their cameras, and all of a sudden you heard a boom and pieces, parts flying by. Like, it looked like it was going to take out the camera. Some of the big chunks. So, yeah, it blew up. It definitely blew up. Now, they do have a kill switch on it where they think if it's going to do damage or hurt anyone or fly off, and they want to kill it, they can disintegrate it. And from the looks of what little I got to see, it looks like it wouldn't surprise me if they had blown it up themselves, if they thought it was out of control and they weren't sure where it was going to go and blah, blah, blah. When it comes to the point where they don't know what's happening. And, they kept losing camera feeds. If you watch the very beginning, there was a lot of like excess fires in the engine compartment. If you watch, they got the camera in the engine compartment where the 3 rocket engines are. There was fires all around the lines and stuff going in. And I'm not positive, but I don't think that's normal. There's not actual flaming fire. And I have a feeling they had a busted fuel line or something. Did I roll on this? I did. There's actually not much left. I've gotten most of it, believe it or not. I can't believe it. Of course, now it's getting to be a tighter knot because I keep just sliding the knot down the roll, hoping it will just slide off the end. Yeah, I think they hit the kill switch, too. I'm pretty sure they did from the looks of it. It didn't even come into landing that you can see. I mean, it was too foggy to really see anything, so it may have come in, but you don't see any flames or anything from, like I said, NASA space flight's cameras. They had it on the launch pad / landing pad. And you don't, even though it was foggy, you still see the glow of the rocket engines in the fog, and you didn't see any when they cut back to it. They had it gliding. They had a really nice image of it from SpaceX of it gliding, which was freaking cool. Where it was like fog underneath and blue sky above. And then the cameras cut out again. And Spaceflight went back to their camera on the landing pad, and you never see a glow or anything. You just see them, the Spaceflight guys or NASA Spaceflight guys are just chit-chatting. All of a sudden, you see their camera freaking shake, and you hear the massive boom from its mic, and then parts go flying by. And like I said, I have a feeling they popped a cork on it. All right, we're almost done. I can't believe this. I can't believe I had the patience to do this. Shane! Thanks for the knot, Shane. Actually, didn't take me that long to unwind it. I am pretty much done. There's only like a couple of feet left here. There we are. We're all done. Thank you, Shane, for the filament. What is this? Is this actual Ninja Flex? What's the brand on this, Shane? It's done. All done. All rolled up. Okay, there should be no sound out of that. Anyway. It says coax, but they also relabeled some 3-meter high XL. What's up, Jesse? This is 1.75, right? Yeah, that's 1.75. It's not 3 millimeter. Oh, you're talking about 3 millimeter filament. I'm just wondering, I want to get the settings for it. When you get, I don't know if you're home, you might be working, but shoot me a picture of the label off of it so I know the settings and what brand it is. I mean, I could probably figure it out. I do a lot of GPU, so it's pretty easy for me, but I'd rather have somewhere to start, something to work off of. There's a lot there, dude. You said a freaking lot. I can, like, rebuild a whole garage door system and make some more tabs, put some lights up. Oh, you guys haven't seen that video yet. That's next week, this coming week. I have 3 TPU in the garage videos, and then I've got a polycarbonate in the garage video coming up. And instead of just doing them all at once, I'm going to release them every Saturday, I think. Yeah, if it had been PLA or anything else, I would have told him wind it. Because you can't, it kinks, you know, if you start yanking on it like I just was to unkink it. What's up, Greg? If anybody wants to jump in and hang out, because that actually took less time than I thought it was going to. You don't know which one it is? It doesn't, there's no label. I never even heard of hydro. What the hell is hydro? I'm going to have to look now. Command V. Here, let's share the screen. So you can see what I'm doing. Hydro. DuPont hydro filament. Is this what you're talking about? Oh, 3M DuPont. That's expensive. $82. These many copolymers. So they want it hot, slow, very hot and very slow. Yeah, 3M isn't DuPont anymore. 3M used to be DuPont, right? Didn't DuPont start 3M and then 3M like bought themselves out or something? I do not have any boards laying around that I can get rid of. Especially, I've never had a CR10, so I wouldn't even have a CR10 board. I wouldn't even know where to get one cheap. You know who you could try if you hit up TH3D? He generally replaces all of his stuff with his own boards, and his boards are just sitting there and they're used. And if you write them, it won't be on their website, but if you write their service and say, hey, do you have something I can put in there? I mean, they're all the same, the CR10s and the Ender 3s and all that. They're all basically the same board. They're all kind of interchangeable. I mean, they might have different drivers or whatever, but he sells those usually pretty cheap. Like I said, they won't be on his site or anything. You actually have to contact them. But yeah, they'll probably he might have one laying around. You just got to go on his site and hit like I don't know service or whatever and ask, and either Tim himself or whoever he's got. I know his main dude Andrew there just took another job, but I'm pretty sure he hired someone already. But they'll know, or they'll be able to find out. You get an answer back, and they'll sell it cheap. I mean, I'm guessing. Don't quote me, but I'm guessing like $20. Yeah, the Palette Pro. I mean, honestly, I don't think I'd ever use a palette for printing. I shouldn't say it. I would play with it. Yeah, actually, Dan might have one. I didn't even think of that. You got a couple of them laying around because you switched some boards out, haven't you? Yeah, what was I going? Oh, the new Palette 3. Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I would if somebody sent me one. I don't think I'd buy one. If I were, I don't think I'd use them for multicolor printing. Really, if I was going to do multicolor printing, the ultimate option, and probably what I would do by the time you spend the money, if you do multicolor printing, by the time you spend the money on a palette or an MMU, and then the printer to run a palette or MMU, like neither one of my printers will ever run either one very well. They're just too hokey. They're all built by me. You have to buy a decent machine to run one, or be really good at tuning them. And I just keep fixing them until they're properly broken. But by the time you do that, you might as well just get the tool changer. I would probably get, even though it's a total nightmare to set up and build, and there's a lot of questions about it. I still think if I was going to do actual multicolor printing, I would get the tool changer, just because I look at the waste blocks is freaking waste. I'm not a let's tree hugging, but I am let's not just waste material for the sake of wasting material, and that's a freaking waste of material. I'm sorry. I would like a palette. If I were to get a palette, I wish they'd come out with like a mini palette for like $100. That all it did was take 2 filaments in and splice them together. I would buy it to take scraps and splice them together. So you can take, half rolls that you think you're going to run out, take 3 or 4 half rolls or, little bits left over, splice them together and get a decent length out of it, or make your own multicolor filament or whatever. Yeah, I fix them until they're properly broken. I really wish Palette would come out with a $100 unit where it's not multicolor. It's literally, you can use it as a multicolor. It only takes 2 or maybe 3. 2 is fine. Let's keep it cheap. And just splices them together. And I mean, I know the Palette will do that now, but I'm not spending $600 just to splice, to save 30 cents worth of filament. It's not worth it. Would I spend $100 to save 30 cents worth of filament over and over and over again? Yes. I think $100 for a splicing unit would be awesome. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I get it. The MMU is it had a lot of problems in the beginning of its life, but the MMU2, and they've done a lot of, Prusa's really tuned it in where if you have the patience to get it going and line everything up and get it running right, they can spit out all three, if you have the time and energy to tune them and get them really good, all three of them, whether you get the palette, whether you get the MMU, or you get the tool changer, they're all going to give you really good quality prints if you're willing to sit down and deal with it. I'd be more willing to sit down and deal with it, like I said, with the tool changer, even though it's more of a pain in the ass. For one, it's more mechanical pain in the ass, which that doesn't bother me. I like mechanical pain in the ass. I hate electronic pain in the ass. And two, you don't end up with a waste block. I don't like waste blocks. I do like what Breakson makes. Is that what he's calling himself now? What he's doing with him. I like that clock he made out of the waste box. But still, that's like a waste of the waste. What are you StreamYarding, Dan? Yeah, well, that's just it. If I had a palette, all I'd use it for is splicing filaments together. I would not use it to run a print. I would just feed in 2 colors or 3 colors or whatever and have it randomly spliced together and spit it out and re-roll it up and have a roll of multicolor filament. Or I might use it as a, just, I guess you can have a random pull setting where it doesn't even do a purge block. It just keeps changing it every once in a while automatically, randomly. That would be cool. That's all I'd use it for. See you, Jeff. Yeah, I don't know. What was the other one you said it was? 3D Fuel. 3D Fuel. TPU. PLA products, materials. Coffee filled. Did I see coffee filled? Intertwined hemp filled. Buzz. I think I like the smell of coffee better than I like the actual flavor. Ooh, coffee. I hate those freaking sign me up things. Coffee. Sold out. I don't want no $5 sample either. Yeah, I mean, they have the technology. They could make as much money. They could probably, honestly, I think they'd sell way more of them. Like, if they were around $100, you figure the unit now is $500 for a pallet. Now, there's all kinds of fancy crap, so you can have multiple stuff. If you take that technology and you break it down and just put one little motor in there and the splicer head, and it spits out the other end, and you're done. No fancy gizmos or gadgets or anything. They could easily do that for $100. Easily. I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know what the exact cost is, but obviously at $500, they're making money because they have to make money. It's a company. That's what they do. There's the technology for the splice head is already there. The splice head, I would imagine, would actually come down in cost because they'd be making, I'm guessing they'd sell 10 splitters for every one actual pallet. To be honest with you. So the splice head, manufacturing cost would come way down because they'd be spitting out a buttload more of them. The unit could be, half the size of what they have now. If you made it strictly a splicer, they wouldn't have to have any wind-ups or back winding or any of that crap. Yeah. I don't know. It just Oh, Ann's here. How did I not hear you twit in? Twip
Yeah,
in.
I
Oh,
just
you're waiting there.
sent
I
you a
didn't
message.
know you were there, man.
I can hear you.
It usually chirps when someone signs in. I didn't hear the chirp.
Oh, I thought so. That's why I put a message in from Tom, do you get StreamYard
Yeah.
notification? But
What's up, dude?
I'm great. Nothing to do at the moment, so just finished printing some parts for an SN rocket from SpaceX.
Yeah, I was busy yakking.
Not
Um,
not the one that blew up there today. So
the rocket, yeah.
what a debris field.
It blew up. It went boom.
Yeah.
Didn't he say 3D fuel? Are you still here, Shane? Did you say 3D fuel? I'm not seeing any TPUs from them. PLAs, renewable filaments, support filament, ABS specialty, black polymer, 3D clean. TPU. Sorry, nothing for TPU. Phone's ringing.
Yeah, phone's ringing.
To my mother's phone.
Oh.
I have one up here in case she has problems. It's got the intercom on it. Coax, not 3D fuel, coax. That's why. And of course, I spelled it completely wrong. I can't type worth of crap. PATG, 2 pots. Wow, my ears are ringing. Why's my ear ringing all of a sudden? They have TPU and TPE. $80, $80. Cool flex.
Never tried
Mystery
CPU.
color transition, $50. You have a 60D. That's like super freaking flexible, ain't it?
Maker Viking. Is your name Thomas?
Yeah, his name's Tom too.
Oh, okay. No, I get a friendship notification on Facebook from.
It's funny
Thomas.
because we're both Toms, and
Yeah.
our birthday's the same day also.
Oh, that's funny.
Actually, I'm not Tom. My real name's Darren. Believe it or not. Yeah, no biggie. It's just curious. It just gives me a place to start. I can figure it out by just feeding it and seeing how it reacts. Just curious what it says for temperatures. Melting point 165. Bed temperatures 25 to 85. That's like really low. That's like really, really low.
Is that Celsius?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like wicked low. Melting point 165 C. Bed temperature 25 to 85 C. Well, at 85 C, it'll probably frickin' start mushing if it only melts at 65. The 40D, which is what I'm looking at, which that might be your whole problem, dude. If the melting point is 165, you only want to run it like 170, 180, which is wicked low. Wicked, wicked low. No biggie. I just got it, and I was sitting here, and it came in the mail, and it was supposed to come yesterday, and the frickin' stupid new mail lady. We had a mail dude that's been Kitty. We had a mail dude that's been around for like 100 years. The guy was ancient, and he was awesome. I mean, he knew everybody. He knew everybody. Knew where everyone was. If you moved, he would automatically put the address change thing in your box because he just he knew everybody in town. Anyway, he retired, and they switched all the mail routes around, and we got this new little young girl who's just fine, but oh my god, she put this in someone else's box. It was like 2 miles down the street. And it's not like an envelope that could have gotten stuck to someone else. This is a package, It's a package.
Yeah.
It's an envelope, but it was a big padded envelope. And it was like, she put it in the wrong mailbox. She does it all the time. I keep getting other people's mail daily. It's getting a little annoying, actually. I mean, she's really good about it because she'll always, all you do is sort it out, put it back in your box, flip the flag back up, and she runs around and puts it all in the right place. But she's just not very good at sorting. I guess. I don't know.
Hasty.
It always seems to get fixed. It's just everything seems to be a day late. Day late and $1 short. My 3D printed spool is holding up pretty well. This is like the third or fourth filament I've wound up on it. I gotta get back to making the hodgepodge. What is up, Victor? So anyway, what are you building besides having a cat stare out the window?
No, at the moment I have half of a dragon crew. Of a crew dragon. Half. Need to print the other half still. And I need about 40 parts of an SN rocket still need to print. So, and then I have to print also the Perseverance rover for the Mars rover. So the next couple of weeks I'm printing a lot.
Yeah, that whole COVID bull crap. My aunt's actually, I think she's still downstairs. She might have left. I didn't see the car leave, but she got her second shot. My mother got her second shot like a month ago, but my aunt got her second shot like a week ago.
Okay.
Freaking knocked her right out. They're getting ready to take her to the hospital. She was so sick.
Ooh.
She was out for like 3 days. So I guess she's feeling better because she came up today to visit my mother. Now that they can actually, they're both, vaccinated, so they can hang out and not actually have to deal with the whole mask and crap. They can be almost normal. Neither one of them go out, so they don't have to worry about infecting other people or anything.
Okay.
They're both old. They're old. I'm old. Everybody's old.
You don't have to wait for two weeks? Because...
Well, you're supposed to, but again, they're both vaccinated. It's not like she's visiting. It's not like she's going out to the store or anything with a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
My mother's been vaccinated. She's got her second shot for over a month.
Then
my aunt got her second shot, I think, a week or 2 weeks ago. So they're all good. I've already had my first because I'm old. Yeah. You must have had one by now, haven't you?
No.
Really?
Maybe in May or June.
Holy shit! How old are you?
46.
You're 46. Oh, I thought you were older than that.
No, we are way behind. Way behind we are. So.
We did 45 at the beginning of March, or 55 beginning of March, and we're doing 45 starting tomorrow. and they're just saying, screw it. Connecticut's going, we just got a big supply of all three of them.
Yeah.
And they're saying as of April 1st, anybody above the age of 16 can sign up.
Okay.
As
Well,
of tomorrow, I guess. Or April
yeah.
15th. No, tomorrow is going to be. I
First
can't.
April.
Anyway, they're saying by the end of April, everybody in the state should pretty much have gotten their first shot.
Ooh, that's ambitious. That's what
Well, Connecticut.
150.
Don't forget, Connecticut's a tiny little state too. It's not.
Yeah, but whole
We're
of
the second
America.
smallest state in the nation.
But
We
all
also
of
have a
America is
buttload of
150.
money. The other ones don't. People don't realize not only are we the smallest state, but we have of the three largest industries in the country: insurance, medical,
Yeah.
and manufacturing. We have the heads of all three here. We have the largest. We have like 6 insurance company heads here in the state. We have Pfizer's. Pfizer's is here in Connecticut. That's their main thing is here. Plus, we have
Yeah.
all the thing. I don't know. It's not. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not that many when you think of a state. We're small. We have a couple of big cities, but it's nothing like. Most of Connecticut is more wooded than I am. You get down into New Haven and past, and it's part of New York City, really. But anything pretty much east of the Connecticut River is woodlands.
Okay.
Which is, you got the beachfront communities and you got Hartford and a few cities here and there. But even the cities, like I consider New London a city. Most city people consider it a small town. They actually have like yards and trees, and it's still a city to me. It's a cluster.
But with the vaccination, only the hospitals
3.5
do
million
it.
is at it. We're like I don't know. I think they said last night we're like 90% anyone over 65 has already had their second here. Under 55, like 50 or 60% have already had their first. Anyone with a medical issue has at least had their first. Teachers are all like 90% done. Because schools opened here yesterday. Our schools are fully functioning. Statewide, the whole school system is open again. Everyone goes back to school.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you should have your shot if you're delivering drugs to hospital. It's kind of important. I spelled wrong.
That's a medical profession, so those are first.
Yeah, we went. Yeah, Connecticut started out with the whole selection, and if you have a medical issue, and it just got really confusing. And our governor said, "I know it's going to piss a lot of people off." He's like, "I'm just doing the age thing. I'm going to bracket it out every 2 weeks." We're a fairly small state, and we're getting a decent, influx of all three of them. Again, Pfizer's is right here in the state, so like getting it, even though it's it's their headquarters and their testing facilities are here in the state. The actual manufacturing isn't, but they do manufacture some here in the testing facilities. There's like a couple 100,000 every week coming out of the testing facility that would normally just be producing test materials. It's just throwing out the coronavirus right now or some crap, but blah, blah, blah. Pretty sure we're doing 45 and over as of tomorrow or the day after. And then by February or April 15th, it's anyone over 16 can have it. I'd have to look again. They keep changing it. But yeah, we're ahead of the wheel here. And I don't even sign up for it. We have a no-show list here that I joined. And you can actually, anybody can do it. The CDC is the one actually doing it now. It's not by state. My state is just tied into it. Most states are not giving a crap and trying to make you do it by a schedule. But if people don't show up in the morning for the shot, at noon they repost the shot because they don't want to throw it out. So they repost they're scheduling from 7 in the morning to 5 at night. And from 6 to 9 or 6 to 8, I think, 6 to 8 are all reschedules. So if people aren't showing up for their shot, instead of throwing it out, they reschedule at noon. You sign up at noon. They send you an email. We have this many available, first come, first serve. You have to show up tonight. Boom, I just sign up, drive over to Saybrook, and freaking go out my shot. I literally signed up at noon and had the needle in my arm at 5 o'clock that afternoon.
That's fast.
Yeah, well, it's smart. They're not throwing them out. And anyone can do it. The CDC is actually listing it. They said, screw the states. There's a bunch of states screwing up their setup. So they're going right to the healthcare providers. Yeah. And the healthcare providers at 11 o'clock post all their local no-shows to the CDC. Mm-hmm. And you go on the CDC's website and it will tell you if there's no-shows in your local area.
Okay.
At least for the United States. I don't know about out of country.
We have we get a paper, a letter in the post, and then we have to call for an appointment. So
that's kind of bizarre. I'm driving to New Hampshire this weekend to pick up a mill I bought. What kind of mill? Where are you driving from that you're driving up to New Hampshire? Where are you at, Mike? Yeah, there's a bunch of people making, and I get it too. A bunch of people will make like a reservation like 6 months down the road because that's all you could get at the time. Like if I went to make a reservation right now, it would be 3-4 weeks out. So a lot of people do it. They make a reservation so they have it, but then do the same thing I am where they're waiting for the runouts or, someone doesn't show up. They go and get it early, but they forget to cancel their old one. So we're getting more and more and more no-shows every day. Like it used to be like 3 or 4 no-shows a day for each location, and that was it. Now we're getting like 15 or 20. When I signed up for mine, 2 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago? There was like 12 no-shows at 11 o'clock. And that's just the one site. And more bits. They said, please don't. They literally said to me, please don't sign up for your next shot. The CDC is going to send you an email that says sign up for your next shot. They're like, don't do it. We have so many no-shows. As long as you're willing to stay on that no-show list that you're on and you don't mind getting email every now and again, just stay on that because then we can use up the leftovers and people aren't making it worse by having more and more no-shows, by making an appointment and then getting it earlier and then not showing up and blah, blah, blah. It becomes a whole big thing. But people are getting them earlier and earlier and earlier because they are signing up for the no-show. That all made sense. That my rambling just didn't make sense.
I hate it when people don't show up without calling.
Yeah, I really want to try some clear TPU. I think that would be bizarre. This looks. I don't think this is as flexible as. Feels more rubbery than this. I actually think this is more flexible. This is Zyro TPU, but this feels more like silicone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel rubbery. It feels silicone-y. It's got that more smoothie plastic
Squishy.
texture.
Yeah.
This is more squishy, but it actually feels rubbery. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. And the way it flexes feels more like rubber. It'll be interesting. I'll have to play with it later. I'll have to put it in my janky homemade filament dryer. Did you dry that? I'm assuming you tried drying it, Shane. I think you said you did. We're going to dry it anyway. In my janky homemade filament dryer. See my janky homemade filament dryer? It's a boot dryer. I'm going to put the box on and stick it in a hole in there. It seems to work. Because that stuff, that polycarbonate right here in this roll, was wet when I got it. And I left it in there overnight, and it printed absolutely beautifully this morning. Or yesterday. You just close the box, slide it over the side, and let it warm up. That could be it. It could just be wet, which is why you're having problems with it. Well, it was jamming on you, right? You driving from Virginia to New Hampshire to pick up a mill, huh? That's a long ass haul.
It must be cheaper than sending.
How are you going up? You're probably going to drive right by my house. Not 5 miles away. If you're going up, what? I'm assuming you're going to take 95, although you'll probably take 84. Cut off the whole 9 thing. Although, even though it's a longer distance, it might actually be faster to stay on 95 and take 9 up. Or even 395 here in Connecticut instead of taking 84. Because 84 goes diagonal across the state, but it goes through every major city. Where if you go 95, once you get past New Haven, it's all freaking regular backwoods BS. Hit 395, and 395 is like there's an exit every 10 miles. 395 is like you get past Norwich on 395, and it's like if you see another car, it's amazing sometimes. It's like a wide open. Most people do like 80. What's up, Jerry? How's it going? What's up, Ryan? Yeah, so that was actually easy to unwind. I'm surprised. I'll let that dry overnight, figure out what it is. I'm sure we'll hit each other up on Discord or hang out on a stream or something and get the specifics. I can play with it tomorrow, maybe. I should be printing right now. I need to do more purple conversion on this. Get rid of these 2 little red suckers next and make them purple, but don't really want to listen to the printer run. Gives me a headache. It's so loud. Yeah, 95 to the Parkway back to 95. That's in New Jersey. Then you got to get through New York. Either you can stay and kind of go diagonal up through New York and just cut the corner of Connecticut off, on 85, I think, where you can just stay along the shoreline, which is traveling east when you really want to travel north. But 95 moves once you get out of the main Greenwich / New York overflow. That's what we call it, New York overflow into Connecticut. From New York City, once you get past that, it's pretty easy driving. It's 65, 70 miles an hour all the way to 395, and then 395 brings you right up. It's like a straight shot through Massachusetts and up in between New Hampshire and Vermont. 395 is basically the border of Massachusetts and Vermont. Even though it's not called 395, it's a different freaking road. The hell do they call it? I think it's 90 when you get up that far. It's the same damn road. It just changes names as it goes through each state. Went to school up in New Hampshire when I went to college. Franklin Pierce in Ridge, New Hampshire. That's where I went to college. It was a little rinky-dink fucking college. This is how rinky-dink the college was when I was up there. They had a ski slope, I guess you'd call it. It was a big hill with the guys would ski on it. And they had a pull rope, so you didn't have to take your skis off. You could actually grab this rope and pull yourself back up on the mountain. It's a big hill. It was probably 2 miles long, but you could pull yourself up. It was just a rope tied to a bunch of poles. So one day, me and my roommate got a little wasted. And of course, I've always done construction my whole life, and I had my freaking big van car. And I was a freshman with a car. You weren't allowed to be a freshman, but I was old, so they made an exception. Anyway, I had pulleys. I had some pulleys from a job I'd done left over. So we put a bunch of pulleys on the rope and reran the rope up in a big loop. And we put a freaking chainsaw engine on the bottom that you just clipped onto it. Had a big pulley on the chainsaw engine. You just grab the rope and you yank on it. People would grab onto the rope, put the chainsaw engine on it, pull, get it started, and it would like power them up the freaking mountain. It was funny. It sort of worked. It wasn't perfect. It slipped a lot, but it worked. Absolutely not. I have zero desire for a pallet 3. Shouldn't say zero desire. We were just talking about that. I would love a pallet for splicing filament together. That's all I'd use it for. I mean, if I got one, I would play with it for the first, month or two and do a half a dozen prints, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Multicolor prints don't interest me all that much. We were having that discussion earlier. If I were going to do multicolor prints, by the time you bought a palette and a decent printer and everything, you might as well buy the tool changer. Even though the tool changer is more work to assemble and set up, assembling it doesn't bother me. I like the hardware end of it. And then the setup's actually mostly mechanical. There's some firmware / BS, but not as much as the palette or the MMU. And you don't end up with the purge block. A tad fast. What, you getting a lot of string in there, curmudgeon? Or is it just looking sloppy? Anyways, it's been almost an hour. I'm probably going to kill it in a bit. I'm seeing if I can soak and rebuild some bearings. I did notice one of the bearings on this thing. I don't know if you guys realize. I was changing all of these over, these red blocks to purple, so the whole printer's purple again, like it should be. They got some purple polycarbonate, and one of the bearings wasn't bad, but it was a little grainy. So I took it out in the garage, and I'm wondering if you can soak them and clean them, even though they're sealed bearings. They're not actually sealed. When they call them sealed bearings, it just means there's a cover snapped over the bearing, the actual balls. But they're not like air or water tight. There's no actual like rubber seal on them. So I'm soaking it in some PB Blaster. And one, I'm wondering if it's going to damage the Delrin, which it might. I don't know if it does or not. And two, I'm wondering if I can clean it out again once I get. Will the PB Blaster get in there enough to clean the bearing? Can I get the PB Blaster back out again and get some kind of oil or grease in there? Which I'm not sure. Jesus, it's been like a month since you worked on that thing there, frickin' Viking. For me, I'd be all done with it already. I wouldn't be able to sit on it that long. That's one little printer I actually think is pretty cool. I'm not big on the whole Clipper Voron thing. I mean, the Voron's nice and everything. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a nice printer. It's great, blah, blah, blah. But no more special than any other Core XY as far as I'm concerned. It's a gantry riser instead of a bed dropper. Big whoop. I'm not sure that's actually any more stable. The more I look at it, the more I think that's actually less stable. But I do think that little sucker is cool as crap. And I would like to have one of those. I'd take one of those over a freaking Prusa Mini right now. I think that thing is neat. More because I just think it's cool looking. I don't think it's any better printing, or I just think it's cool as shit. It's cute. It's a little block, man. Yeah, I think I have saying exactly that, Mike. I think I have one that's battery. It's a brand new freaking idler. It's an LDO idler. They're all LDO idlers on there now. Every one of them. And they're all fairly new since Christmas. Or just before I bought some. And one of them squeaking in the back corner. I don't know if it's a belt rubbing or if the actual bearing is. Because I've been kind of hearing it, and then I switched the trucks over today, and it's not perfectly aligned anymore. I got to shift it around a little bit to get it lined up, but that belt's squeaking really bad in that back corner now. I'm beginning to think it might be a bad bearing. So, anyways, another happy day. What's up, Red Light? Just in time for me to kill it. I think I'm going to. Yeah. I'm going to hit the road. And a couple of things I got to do. Got to check on that bearing out the garage. See if it actually smoothed it out. I'm going to need a freaking bolt to slide through it to see if it smoothed it out. Got some of that dirt out of it. I'm wondering if the PB Plastic, it's not WD-40. It actually has some lubricants in it, even though it's mostly a penetrating oil. It actually has some real lubricants in it, unlike WD-40 that is just a water inhibitor. Yeah, I think the V0 is better than the Mini. I mean, either one's nice. I like the Mini, and again, people know I'm not a big fan of Prusa Slicer, but I like the Mini because of the whole ecosystem. I think Prusa Slicer with the Mini is going to give you really good prints right out of the box. You don't have to tweak, you don't have to turn, you don't have to adjust. You can literally take a Mini and within an hour or two have that thing spitting out good prints. Maybe not perfect, but you can have it spitting out good prints. The V0 is going to take a couple of days just in firmware and BS because the whole clipper BS. I'm not big on that whole clipper thing. I know everyone thinks it's awesome and it's great, but it's kind of. I'm not seeing any better prints out of it than I am any other firmware. So why go through the hassle? There are things I like about it. I like the whole that you can like put the accelerometer on it and really tune in your. You can really. I like what you can do with the clipper. There's definitely some advantages to it. Are those advantages worth all the BS to set it up? The V0 and the Vorons themselves are pretty much preset, so it shouldn't be as much. There's enough documentation, enough people, out there where it should be darn close to doing a Marlin custom install because you should be able to just copy paste and go. But to do like if I wanted to put clipper on this, I'd be like war cocky and going no because there's nothing set for it. I'd have to figure it all out, and that's just not my thing. Not with the firmware. I don't mind figuring out the hardware. I don't want to figure out the firmware. Anyway, it's been over an hour. I'm going to kill it. It's been fun. It's been real. We wound up some film and actually reasonably fast. I can't believe how easily that was to untangle. But it's untangled and it's rolled up, and I'll hit up Shane later tonight and figure out exactly what it is, or at least close enough to get started. I may play with it before that just for the fun of it and go from there. So we're out. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.